So Abusia Martin Kpedu Nsembi ebebetu biasa nko akono kwade a anka ye the office of the special prosecutor na OSP kisi ejabin office no anka yungu no abusia nsem ebetu bia pe and emrada chese eye the OSP eba abontin ebema update on Ken Ofori attack case in yes ebim oba abontin ebebe sele no out just to training wunzi order so eye adwuma na eno ene mpanimfo etena ate no mkase office of the special prosecutor na kasa no abusia ekamya yese kankan ye ne proye bi ekoso ewo ha enye asankoto wo se office no kwan ke guno abusia munse enye adwuma ena wo ye ba rather no they want the favor of the president of the Republic of Ghana because president iba ye munse enkrofo bebre no apam eno afa enkrofo foforo aso mana but to protect OSP or no hisi ejabe ne job ntin ena obeye bibia in the favor of the president of the Republic of Ghana. Mama Tikibukra na no atu say de beya aga OSP na busua ehu ani so yempam na onfiri office enko na eno ene ne dawru ene no conference case OSP no it's a juma na oye na busua e kame e say nipa ba kope ene ode som na yo no ano to favor on to stay in office enti na oye na juma oguso eyen ene busua nsema
pay quick one no on the OSP. And Rami, you see me data at the follow OSP press conference no over 2 hours. Na OSP a press conference. Na question na the BIA bisano and one baby sano pay. Obia can say can ofurata e bonia and no be fanen court. But once again, all your press conference na asemo a ena mitirimo ana mebisa na nkrofon so ebisa ne say sa press conference to what end? Because asem no court na eseko ase OSP no any attorney general ewo in competition as to who can dominate in trends in the media. So last week about this week na attorney general trending into a trend ya ma adeni OSP ni ya nti ese quickly no and no so be press conference no no so time trending edeko senya sadia sa adansi di and robe kenka kire nyina no yase afutu obia ente se jiska ko yadwuma tianka wo ya wako court wako charge oforiata eni ni pe ka na ho na Ghana for hu se wo yadwuma. Because you see, when your first time, what by press conference be say you? Ye kai mami sisi ada pa ensem bae. Obe mounti podium say ya. Ek kan sam egu mami no fi ebua ne fo e Ghana fo nyina anim. And then mami sisi ada pa se odi agro na ogigi nanim na onantenante abonten a. Wan hwe ye obi be ye ne bone. Obi betimi aka say sabe on fan cheme kronfo na wawie esika na ekono na ode ade kura abone kuno because OSP egunu hufunu abonten ama na look say oye criminal enti after sane mani nyina awie no afa de obeka kire Ghana for say said the baby bible mu ohiri bi kan no o say abranti ogina hoi but onye eboni bia o sabe ka kire say hisi adapa onye eboni bia wahwe ni nsemu nyina mu wanya bibia entia no but before that no have mount podium abe describe with names etiana siara panama in the eyes of Ghanaians no enkrofo hu ni say oye kronfo meanwhile not even auditor general's report and enya adverse findings against maame no etia catch them say the fact say wo fo say why investigation bi no enche say ye no kware enichina Ghana constitution they can say you are not guilty until say you are proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. And two will be one someone fako court. But OSP that be a jina bonten e beguni pan officer in general 2 hours. Kinkan nyina describe it can for that say or ye also the chief planner of the questionable deals. Any patron and one no. To what end? To what end? Ese court na ko and when you do same way, and you medium. So we will continue to encourage and admonish the OSP any age in say. Investigation here. Court. They shouldn't come to the media because media are in your courtroom. Microphones necessary and your courtroom. They should go to the courtroom. Any way to me they shouldn't run to the public. Now running accused persons not down. Moya sapa na mo see atemwo adwuma no ase. Can for that we didn't sika I on one the me wa mambi. If I am pastor says be edin sika I on one asem. If I am pastor gift or edin sika e nasem. And now about chairman won to nuko adui. Say on one eko na no okodu court be 7. Yes, here for some 8 no court to them. They issue bench warrant say en coach no. E chairman won to na eko we are talking about fairness. We are talking about fairness. So when TRT will be fundamental human rights, so because and the two may be on some 2029 now OSP will term of office are buried. And it also term of office buried. Now you are called upon to come and answer for your stewardship. Budget allocation said the man what you use the money for. Now you are asked to account for travels our economy there. Now you treat to say, I don't think you'll be happy with it. Where were you Fako court? Now court, Emma judgment. That is what the law says. And you know it. As a lawyer with many years of practice, you know it. Only age many years of practice. Much law. Why are you doing this? Adentina mu yesade we edi good atemu adwuma no fi. Is it that do you have the motive say mo yesa to tie the hands of the judges so that in the court of public opinion no mabuni panel for that and the judge ni bu asem no call the other way next the judge will have a very saying the public coming after him or her. Yes, Ramo, you can do better. So we are expecting you to do better and do the right thing.
These are no criminal law, it's a public law, but these are public related offenses as against offenses that may be private, even though all criminal actions are public, what's called in nature. We are talking about people who are being alleged to have plundered state resources. And so because of the nature of the offenses and because of the high interest nature of the cases, having your public discourse ought to be in the right direction. I see there's a very fine line between giving public what's called transparency updates and losing the legitimacy of your actions. There's a very fine line because you run the danger of falling into what I'll call give the dog a bad name and hang it. You understand? Because for about 10 months, the OSP has been giving us public updates on Ken without a charge. You understand? And that's the problem. And so let's say if there was a charge and you are giving us public updates, there wouldn't have been any issue. But for 10 months, you call for what's called a press conference, and Ofori has done this, and Ofori has done that. Meanwhile, there's no charge. Even as we speak, is there a charge? No. Because saying that I'm going to charge is not the same as I've charged you. Yeah. You understand? Even where you've charged the person is still considered to be innocent, proving so. You understand? So I think we must be careful. You understand? I'd rather go the way I does things. But even sometimes he comes and says that this person has done that, and yet no charge has been preferred. What's called against the person. What's called against them. So for me, you see, it is critical that as much as we act in a manner that seems to suggest that we are following the abiding principles of probity and accountability, we do not also behave in a manner that will cause are legal and legitimate actions to fall under the illegitimate space where the people stop or cease to have confidence in the ability of people who are meant to be the vanguard of the principles of probity and accountability. Also, the OSP must also bear in, as in when he is acting, bear in mind the purpose for which the OSP was set up in the first place. Some of us have issues with how it was set up, but they have been set up. Now, the purpose of the OSP being set up was to take away the fear that governments prosecuting people is driven by partisan consideration as against the good of the state. You understand? Because all the offenses he's charging what's called Ken by, well, things that happened what's called sometime 2022, 2022, most of them are documentary in nature. Every year we are granted the auditor's report. You understand? Why did the OSP not have the cojones to bring these actions, these press conferences against Ofori when the MPP was in power? Why is it now? Is it not defeating the purpose for which the OSP was set up in the first place? Is it not creating a situation where people feel that, listen, if your party is in power, then nothing can happen to you? Because the only reason why we set up the OSP was to create a situation where prosecution will not have the partisan coloring. But to have sat down and not have done anything, and I have waited for how many years to bring these actions, for me, it takes a lot away from the purpose for which the OSP was set up. Having said that, it's better late than ever. For me, I have no issue with the OSP and Attorney General saying things that suggest that they believe in the strength of their case. Because before a lawyer takes up a case, or my brother is here, no lawyer will go to court if they do not believe in the strength of their case. Would you go to court if you don't believe you win? You understand? So far as the OSP is concerned, or the Attorney General is concerned, like in the case of the Hanan case, he believes that he has enough evidence to secure a conviction. And he's saying that does not in any way mean that he's prejudging. He's not a judge. He is a prosecutor. And once he takes up a case and he's prosecuting, then he believes that the person is guilty in his head. But at the end of the day, it's a judge that has to make a decision. So if the prosecutor is saying that, listen, I have this case, I believe this person, I have enough evidence to secure a conviction, I don't see the big deal about that. But he is a prosecutor. He's not a judge. It would have been a problem if it were the judge saying that, listen, I've seen enough evidence to convict somebody.
No, but as you even said, you said the OSP 10 months now, he's always been giving briefings on Ofori without a charge. And that's the argument of the lawyer of Ofori and other people that why always come give us an update without a single charge? By that, it looks like you are prosecuting him in a public space and not going to court.
No. So I've jumped onto the Attorney General.
Okay.
I'm done with. I'm done with my view.
You are combining the two.
Yeah, because you see,
the Sesame case.
Yeah, and then Hanan's case. You know, the minority came out that, listen, the AG seems to have judged them already, or seems to suggest that they are already guilty. And I'm saying that no lawyer will go to court when he does not believe in the strength. Well, I won't go to court if I don't believe in the strength of your case.
But isn't it also because of the details that were given? For example, listing, because after that, I've seen videos of a building allegedly belonging to Hanan at you call it Airport Hills or so, you know, because of the details that the AG brought. And that's why some lawyers argue that when you don't go to court to prosecute the case and get judgment to then prove the guy, and you come out with all of those details, it makes people view them in a certain way that maybe the court will not agree with you.
No, I disagree with that view completely. One, like my brother said, first of all, apart from marital cases and cases involving minors, all cases are public in nature. Yes, and now we do public accounts committee. We are talking about states where people have to even declare their assets, and we are saying even the manner in which they declare their assets, it does not benefit anybody. It does not benefit us in upholding the principles of probity and accountability. So if the what's called the Attorney General, whose client is the people of Ghana, and he prosecutes and seeks justice in the name of the people of Ghana, comes and says, listen, I'm going to charge you. I've charged this guy, and he's done the A, B, C, D. He's like, what is wrong with that? In fact, we should commend the AG in line with the principles and values enshrined in our constitution. You understand? For coming out to do what he's doing. My only issue is, like I said, like in the Attorney General OSP case, where for 10 months he's briefing us. Meanwhile, he's not even preferred a charge. In fact, my biggest issue is the fact that he didn't have the courage to bring these charges against, to do what he was doing against Ofori when the MPP was in power. Defeating the purpose for which the OSP was set up in the first place. You say you are independent, you are supposed to be non-partisan, and you didn't have the courage to bring all these issues up when they were in power. Does it not defeat the purpose for which the OSP was set up in the first place? Okay. So for me, I support what the Attorney General is doing. And when I say I'm not talking about the OSP.
Quickly, you know, Opanibi, yes, Ora Sante Boating. Oye MP ewa Asante Achim South in the Ashanti region. Na huni video bia one minua kwesi nsia ewo Adum TV eyeye. Na anopemebo video natural. Me video no me sefuni. Se Ora Asante Boating said you see it describe Bawumia. And he said, "What kafa Bawumia home?" Me say for me. Na actually, another sebre draw my attention. Say, "Oh, we ni Asante Boating. On na 2023 NPP primaries, you know. Of course, so can say on two ninsuru enfimu enfa ayi efeni say anwea emu. Ebisa no si o gidi obo akon say Chema wuntumi no ba ne constituency na o ma ntia ne nsem enu ti na oko support Alan ba boy si sa asamo Asante Boating kan say on tuni nsono emfa ezisa certain rules den ensimu no chepefe say oye tribal bigot sa papa no tribalism che say oda no so da say ba omia ekramuni ti ba omia na ebedi part na nimu a na ne bofunu. That is the only reason why it's here on Pebaumiasem. Because I don't see why anybody in his right senses will say, Obia, well, the party name, the number 2 gentleman of the party for 16 good years. Obakaso ehoho. Because party constitution can say, so bet me a contesting any position in the party as a member of good standing 2 years. So bet you Jina as president and so a member of good standing 4 years. And you are Asante Boating. Obia, what about leader of your party? Why leader of National Council? Why leader our neck? Now I serve as running mate for 4 terms. For 8 years in opposition, 8 years in government. And you still describe such person as an outsider and as a stranger. No, you have a big problem. You have a very big problem. Pacho Asante Achim, I'm going to take part no signatories. I'm going to send some crata. Abria Electoral Commission. You quote MPP no. Asante Boating no kahwana. I'm 1992. I'm going to share. Party non crata say every constituency no but now why we MP now can one very sad now ya say MP4 pounds so e say honorable asuma chairman any Asante Boating no yes sir na omo provoke emebu say obeka bibi ne yaka say wo bi pani bi atem but homete say party say MPP prese obe party ni be kọ nanim ni betimi adi nkuguo no obenya MP4 Asante Boating no makasa tse de mu kan no unfortunate and very sad and kwasi kwatin atro bibi na godo no mo ba me the post ni beto so na ya kenkan na ya analyze post no ahwe se ne sitie